Are you ready for this Sunday night when WWE Champ John Cena
This is a test. No idea what's gonna happen. This is a test for the audio clarity coming through the microphone for YouTube and X. This is a test for the audio clarity coming through the microphone on X. This is a test for the audio clarity coming through the microphone on X and YouTube. Final test for the audio clarity coming through the microphone for X and for YouTube. Wow, there is a 40-second latency delay on X, on the new streaming platform on Twitter, which is X, which is formerly Twitter. 40-second latency delay. 40 to 45 seconds. I'm not joking. That is insane. Whoa. X, on the new streaming platform on Twitter, which is X, which is formerly Twitter. 40-second latency delay. 40 to 45 seconds. I'm not joking. That is insane. What you just heard just now was my voice playing back and forth on X and on the social media streaming platforms. That is 45 to 50 seconds. I said that almost 1 minute ago, and it is just now playing. Watch this. On the new streaming platform on Twitter, which is X, which is formerly Twitter. 40-second latency delay. 40 to 45 seconds. I'm not joking. That is insane. What you just heard just now was my voice playing back and forth on X and on the social media streaming platforms. That is 45 to 50 seconds. Whew. Anyway, let's get started. Good afternoon. Good everyone. Hey, Alan, what's going on? My guy, how we doing? Man, we hanging in there, brother. We're hanging in there, Alan. We're hanging in there, Alan. Everything good. How was your weekend? It's all right, man. Just chill. Really just chilled. I went to a creator event, spoke to some other people in regards to how I can potentially improve Discord and give the viewers the best experience. I network as far as that was concerned. So did that, you know. And then, I just chilled, got something to eat. Normal weekend, honestly speaking. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I went to the car dealership this weekend. Go look at some cars and crunch some numbers in regards to what I want to potentially get. And man, boy, they make it so hard for anybody to even remotely want to get something nice. They make it so hard. I mean, I got no issues with it, but if you ever try to get anything nice, they make it so hard for you. So many barriers to entry into the world of just having nice things. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, Alan. Yeah. We do make it hard, not gonna lie. Yeah, well, I was just talking about just other people just in general. Like it's so hard. That's why like, dude, like if you find an opportunity or like if you see somebody that's offering you a solid opportunity, like bro, you better jump on that shit like wildfire. Bro, opportunities don't come like knocking at all. Like I'm being dead serious. So bro, I went to the McLaren dealer. I mean, I went to Motor Cars of Atlanta, and I just sat down with the finance manager, and he was like, you know, and I told him, and I was like, and he was like, "What's the most expensive car you've ever had?" I was like, and I was like, a BMW M4 CS. I was like, it was like 110,000. He was like, yeah. He was like, they're gonna ask for at least $100,000 down for this car. He was like, but honestly speaking, I would come in, be prepared to with an extra 50,000 down. He was like, in order to get this car, he was like, I would feel a little bit better if you came in with 150,000 down. I told him, I was like, I'll give you 80 to 90,000 right now for this car. And he was like, he was like, but I'm gonna be honest with you. He was like, if you came with 150, I would feel better. I looked at him, I was like, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll catch you later. All right, then I'll catch you later. I'll catch you later, Tiger. I told him, I was like, I got more important things to be dealing with right now,
And
which is
he and
true.
he and he let you leave when you offered the 80-90.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. You want to know why? Because he was not. You want to know why? Because these people are not here to negotiate and they're not here to nickel and barter. That's like for I'm being dead serious. It was crazy. Like and you know and how I know that they're not trying to really nickel and barter is because I was there and a guy literally walked in and the guy literally walked in and he paid $800,000 for a Lamborghini Revuelto, and they drove it inside the like literally inside the dealership, and then parked the car because I asked him, I was like, hey bro, look, like I'm really considering like legitimately like buying this car. Like, let me take a look at this. Like a completely different guy. It was like a guy who was like 20 years old. Now he was like 19, 20 years old. He was just driving a Lamborghini Revuelto. It's absolutely sick. And I was like, bro, because I was like, I want to see like if I fit inside this car because I'm 6'9". So I was like, man, let me see if I can fit inside this car because, you know, like see if it's worth it. He was like, well, he was like, I can go get the other one for you, but a guy literally just bought this just now. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I'm getting ready to put the soul stick on it right now. He was like, I'm just pulling it in right now. And he was like, the one over there to the left is a little bit cheaper if you want that one. I was like, how much is that one? It's cheaper. He was like 775,000. He was like, and it has a little bit more miles on it. But so he was like, so you can check that one out if you want. I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, but this one right here is sold. They wasn't trying to barter with me on a car that cost 450,000. They was not. They they wasn't. He was just like, all right then, I'll catch you later. He was like, I know you'll be back. I'm like, that's what he was thinking. I'm like, that was like his energy and like his aura. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that was just the aura surrounding him. Like it was just like, well, if you have the money, then great, you'll be back. I know you will, because you won't be able to find nothing else like this. And if you don't, then okay, great. Somebody else with the money will buy this car. So it's just like, so it's like, well, it'll sit here, and if you don't want it, then great, we'll sell it. If not, then okay, great, then we'll sell it to the next Joe. So I was just like, all right, then I'll catch you later, and I left with my money in my pocket. You know, I got more important things to be dealing with because I got to move out of my. I have to move one of my. So like, I have to sell one of the properties that I have. Like I have to move everything out of there in less than 45 to 50 days. I wasn't gonna buy it today anyway, like legitimately, but like I was gonna run the numbers, and if it was something crazy, then maybe a slight chance in hell, but he wasn't really effing with me at all. I'm just being 100% real with you, and honestly, and honest and transparent. You know what I'm saying? They was treating me like I was a peasant almost. Seriously. So it was funny. It's crazy. Completely different attitude from these dealerships and other dealerships that I've been at. It's completely different. You know, like they don't like they don't try to sell you. It's absolutely remarkable. You know, it's like, you know, like my entire life I've been to car dealerships to where, like, you know, like if you ever like driven up on a lot and like they all run out and like they're all trying to sell you on a car, like they don't do that at that dealership. They don't do that. Like there is no one that tries to walk up to you and tries to talk to you. Like none. Like you could just walk around and like they'll say, "Hello, how are you?" And then like they'll say, like they won't even offer you any water. I'm being dead serious. And you know, and like I don't look like a normal guy. I'm being dead serious. It's it's completely different, you know. So and every single last one of the cars are locked, and you know, like, yeah, mm, I don't know. I'm gonna stop this rant. They want that heavy bonus on you, yeah. Yeah. I'll uh I'll I'll consider some things, and like I'll probably go back maybe in like November or something. October, November. I'm ready to full port and revenge trade. Yeah. Chud says, who's hyper? Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm in this rant with this. You know, I don't care either way. Like I don't need a car. I love the car that I have now. You know, my sister and my mom's car is better than my car. That's in my name that I own. I'm being dead serious. And I ride a scooter around everywhere. I ride one of those little stand up little segways, those off road segways that can go up to 20. Those Lime bike little segways, that stand up scooters that can go up. My mines can go up to 25, 30 miles an hour, and I can go 25 miles on a single charge. I be riding around all Midtown on it. I don't care. I'm being dead serious. I don't care. So I'll keep driving the car that I got now, my Kia Optima, which I don't have right now. My sister has because she's having car issues. So I'm driving her 2019 Hyundai Elantra that I bought for her. I'll keep driving that car until something sticks out to me. I got no issues. I'm not trying to impress nobody. And I got no issues with telling people what kind of car I drive either. Why? Because who cares? I'm not trying to impress nobody. Just leave it be. I promise. I don't give a damn. Did you upgrade the Discordy? I got the widescreen. This is sick. Really? I did? I don't think that I did. I didn't do anything differently, not unless they came up with some new updates. Huh. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, the Discord has been upgraded. Maybe you just didn't see it. Okay, guys, good morning. No, morning. I keep on thinking it's trading. Good afternoon. We are going to be trading up. There it is again. We're not going to be trading. This is a trading class, rather. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a trading class for all the students that are inside Discord. Let's try and stay focused here. First time it's been widescreen. Wow, really? Well, guys, Discord came out with a new widescreen option. Discord came out with a new widescreen option, so you can watch on a wide screen from Discord. That's impressive. I did not know that. Okay, that's pretty dope. Okay, so guys, this right here is what we're getting ready to focus up on for the class. Let's just try and stay on topic. Let's see what we got.
Say E, it's a widescreen, but it's really skinny in the middle.
Really? What happens if you just go normal screen? Wait, hold on.
Yeah, it's still skinny in the middle, so it's hard to see because it's just really skinny strip in the middle, but it's wide.
It might be the wrong screen. Change stream. Entire screen. Oh. Wait. Which one is this? I think that I was doing the wrong one. That's why. Hold on. Because that might be the one that's up there above. Hold on. Did it change? I think that I may have did the wrong screen.
Now it's full screen.
Now it's full screen. Okay, yeah, because the change stream. Okay. Here it is. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. False alarm. So what it was showing you was my OLED monitor up above head. Now it's on the normal 4K monitor. So what it was showing was the OLED monitor, an OLED monitor above my head. It's 48 or 52 inches. It's a Samsung. So I pressed the wrong share screen. That's why I was doing that. Sorry. Perfect. Okay, good. Oh, there it is. Now it's back to normal. Okay, good. Sorry. We see your widescreen showing the TikTok window. Okay. Good. Okay, so this is what we're getting ready to cover right now inside the class. We're back up and running. Excuse me. Sorry, some small difficulties there. But, Okay, so this is what we have going on with what we're getting ready to cover in today's class. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. So as always, I will always start this out with something very simple. This is for the new students that have just joined inside here that may be confused or that may not have heard it, because a lot of times you may not pay attention to certain things on live stream. You may join for different reasons. I will never charge you for anything while you're inside Discord. Everything is free. Guys, I won't charge you for anything. Guys, and so I have to say the reason as to why I do these things, because people think that I have an ulterior motive, or like people think that I'm trying to get over on people, like somehow, some way, or like, hey, that's too good to be true. The reason, so guys, that includes the indicators, everything, the mentorship, everything is free. I won't charge you for anything. As long as you want to be inside here, that's fine. You will never be charged for anything. And so people don't believe me, and people still ask me and DM me these questions. I know you might not believe it, but I do get these DMs all the time. People say, well, what's in it for you? I already make $30,000 to $40,000 every 5 to 6 days. Every week trading, I make $30,000 to $40,000. I'm not going to charge you $100 or $50 or $100 or $250 to speak to me. I'm not going to do that. So you need to keep your money, and then you just need to pay attention. And as long as you're in here, I will not charge you for anything. And so you can obviously see the prices from Discord, and they're ridiculously low. $59 per month for everything that we have in here, including access to all of our indicators, is absolutely insane. So as long as you're in here, you'll maintain access to everything. And obviously this is one of the free things for everybody that's inside here. It is the free mentorship classes. We will go over everything, and whatever you're struggling with, we will try to find a solution. So that's the introductory. That's just the introduction as far as what's included with Discord, okay? So this is free. It is being recorded, and then after this class concludes, it will be posted over here for everyone that's new in the film review channel. You can only access these if you're inside Discord, okay? So with that being said, let's focus on this class. What today's class is going to be covered, so the first topic is TPing too early. Phantom asked this question. Phantom has an issue with TPing too early. I don't think Phantom's in here right now. I don't see Phantom, but it's okay. So Phantom can access this later. If you TP too early, then this lesson right over here is for you. Okay, and then also I'm going to I'm going to slightly cover the indicators and how to backtest them. So how to backtest the indicators will be covered as well. That's going to be the second topic. And depending upon how much time is left, whatever the case may be, we'll leave that open. We'll leave the last portion open for questions and just freestyle. Or you can ask questions after each after each one, and then we can go over it like that. Okay. Before I get started, though, does anybody have any questions before I just start, spitting off at the mouth? Does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said? Or do you have any questions in general? Period. Just going forward. Um, about anything. It could be about anything as far as trading or whatever the case may be. Are you confused about anything? Are you confused about your experience with Discord because you just signed up 15 seconds ago? Are you confused about, hey, when's live trading? And hey, like any question before I proceed?
Why is it some days or some weeks the market's only moving in these small little increments, and then all of a sudden you get a week where it's moving 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 ticks in one direction?
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, you can see stuff more, to me, a little more obvious on those days, but the days it's so tight, like 75 ticks down, 70, 80 ticks up. I mean, it runs like that for days sometimes, and then suddenly you get these days where it just either it's a buy or a sell off, and it just dumps and dumps and dumps.
Great question. Hold on. Let me answer that. Hold on.
Because to me, like the days that it doesn't move very far one way and then it turns around and comes back and, gets that internal liquidity, goes right back up. I mean, I'm trying to figure those days out and get my TP a little tighter, and then the days that, that it runs and runs, I mean, heck, you could have a 400-point TP. I mean, and it would easily hit it.
What was that last portion that you said over like the last 30 seconds? You broke up there, Mike. You broke up.
I'm just saying that, the days that there's a lot more movement in the market, I mean, you could have a 400-point TP and hit it,
Absolutely. And then days like on Friday, getting 90 to 100 ticks is literally like an insane godsend. It's like if you get 90 ticks on a trade, like how we did multiple times on Friday, it's just an incredible like godsend. It's like how did you do that? Whereas other days you'll press the button and like if you press the button, like you'll instantly be down like 200 ticks in like 3 seconds. It's absolutely insane. It's heavily
yeah, I mean, I started going 50 ticks because I'd get to that 50, 60 ticks, and my TP was at 100, and I'd miss it and come back at
Yeah, quick. Yeah, quick. So great question. So the answer to that question is very simple. To me, and I'll explain it to everyone like this. It works like this. If you want to figure out the answer to that question, you need to go to a 4-hour time frame. If you go to a 4-hour time frame and you start looking at, like for example, every single last one of these candles over here is 4 hours. If you go to a 4-hour time frame, usually speaking, something happens in order for us to start dumping, right? And to me, the reason why like we're just clustering and going sideways, and the reason why the market can be very aggressive is one of two reasons. One, I asked myself this question: are we in negative HVL or are we in positive HVL, high volatility level, or as in are we in negative gamma or positive gamma? Are they hedging the market, or like as in are the market makers hedging every basically every order that comes through? As in are they meeting with buy? As in are buy orders being met with sell orders, and are sell orders being met with buy orders? And in deep positive HVL as in near all-time high, or positive HVL, that is the case. In negative HVL, whenever we're in negative gamma, sell orders are being met with sell and buy orders are being met with, or buy orders are being met with buy. That's the first thing. The next thing that usually happens is on a 4-hour time frame, which is what I was getting ready to show. Whenever we sweep one of these in the past, right, you need to ask yourself, like, what happens right after? Because usually after that happens, we have an insane displacement. But however, in order to get here, a lot of times some external force has to happen. So this is a great question. Okay, so everyone needs to pay attention in regards to what's going on. That's why That's why inside the Discord, whenever I'm sending out the pre-market trading plan, I usually pair no news drivers with what? If anyone is ever paying attention inside here, and if you don't know, that's fine. What do I always say inside the pre-market trading plan if there's no news drivers? What usually comes right after that? Does anybody know from inside that's seen the pre-market trading plans? Geopolitical. No, geopolitical happened. Well, geopolitical, yes. So geopolitical has been happening as of late, as in expect random geopolitical headlines to randomly affect the market and just blow up people's accounts and then bounce it right back. But
It's caught in between two zones.
well, that's if like the market's trapped. But what usually comes on a day where there's just on a random day where there's no news drivers, where there's nothing in saying like a non-farm payroll CPI or like a PPI? What usually happens? Alan hit it right on the head. Time distortion. Time distortion comes with exactly with what Mike's concern was just now. Mike's concern was, well, it seems as though like, man, it's just not hardly moving. If there's no news drivers, then there's no real like driving force. Guys, a lot of times they need an excuse. Guys, a lot of times they need an excuse in order to do something, in order to really bust a move. If not, then the market's going to naturally just start floating. Guys, and naturally speaking, markets gravitationally float upwards. They gravitate upwards because stocks are just inherently designed to go higher. Guys, this is a 100% fact. This is non-debatable. Stocks are, guys, like stocks just randomly just go higher. Because if they just randomly went lower, who would buy them? And then on top of that, the U.S. government is buying mortgage-backed securities and stocks on the open market literally every day or every other week. Or every day and every week. They're doing this. So it's designed to go higher, and also because of inflation. Everything is built for it to go higher. So it's going to gravitationally go higher. So a lot of times they need like a news driver, and we're living in the perfect environment right now to manufacture every single random news driver. Just stop and just think about this. We have the best excuse sitting in office right now as a random news guys, as like a random excuse. If Trump says something, they're going to dump the market 75% randomly, and like you're not even going to know. You're not even going to be able to blink. And then like, who's going to argue with that? Because it's like, oh well, he's unhinged, so that's the reason, and you're not going to argue with it because you don't like him. If you like him, then you go, well, this is just part of the game. It just is what it is. So he's the perfect excuse. And then the other excuse is non-farm payroll, CPI, etc. In order for them to come over here, and then like in order for them to start attacking sell side, like this, for example. You see this dump over here? This right here was a non-farm payrolls dump. This was the excuse that they used in order to come over here and to dump it. And then look what happens whenever they sweep these, which was the point I was trying to make. Guys, they'll dump it and they'll use it as excuse to sweep it. And then when they do, they'll bounce it and then they'll just start going sideways intraday. Every single time that they have come over here and that they've swept one of these zones, look at how this market has reacted every single, guys, they swept this right over here on this candle and then look what happened. They bounced the market 2% and then they still reattacked the next day. They came over here and then they swept it on this candle and then look what happened to the market. Look at this, guys. The market bounced 4.5%. Every single time we sweep one of these externals, look what happens every single time that we swept it. We swept this one right over here on this candle right over here, and then we bounced, and then we swept it over here, and then they stopped, and then they still bounced at 2%. But then from this low over here, from where they swept it, they bounced this market 3%. They reattacked it again, and then they reattacked what they had just swept, and then look what happened over here to this market. Look at this, look. They bounced the NASDAQ 9% after they swept this. Every single time we sweep one of these externals, it reacts violently in the opposite direction. So, but in order to sweep one of these, it usually, like, guys, like they need an excuse. So once they manufacture an excuse, then they sweep it and then they go in the opposite direction. And it's usually violent. And then once they go up inside the opposite direction, once we enter back in the positive gamma, then the market just starts to chill out and it just starts to just cool out like this. And then that's when you get the time distortion. You understand what I'm saying? So hopefully that begins to unravel the onion in regards to, unravel the onion in regards to Mike's question. So there's two layers to that. So you need to understand that. So how I avoid destruction is not trading on the days where they have an excuse to headhunt a lot of people, which is non-farm payrolls and CPI, and 2 hours after FOMC or right when FOMC releases. That's their usual excuse. Okay. And then as of late, you need to you just need to not be inside trades for anything longer than like an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours without going break even, because they'll manufacture a geopolitical war headline randomly if there's no news drivers, because that's going to be their excuse. And then they'll do it randomly, and then they'll blow up your account, and then they'll leave you with your pants hanging down. Does that make sense? That's a first. Unravel the onion. I like that. Yeah. Because this question, because the answer to that question, it's multi-layered, because it's true. It's positive HVO, but then it seems as though like, hey, like they're being aggressive, but why are they being aggressive? They're being aggressive because they have a news driver and they want to flash one of these externals. But then once they do that, then they're just going to return back or revert back to the mean and go in the opposite direction again. And then that the move down is going to be aggressive, and then the move up is going to be aggressive. But the move down and up really only accounts for, I'd probably say, about 20 to 25% of the price action. And then the remaining 75% is just us floating around in no man's land. That's literally all that trading is. I'm like, guys, like, I'm being dead serious. That is really all that this game is. That's why I've given like the excuse on this. Well, like I say, like, hey, like you need to be targeting internals. That's why targeting internals makes up about like 65 to 70% of the trading plan. Because, and like, that's why I say, like, I'm waiting for liquidity to be engineered to this session, because like, I want to see what they're getting ready to do this session. Barring some insane headline, dude, they're going to come over here, bro, and like, they're going to sweep one of these, and like, they're going to pull out one of these out like their ass. Like, they're just going to be doing this. So like, I hope I'm like revealing to you like what the market's doing. Like, the market usually just targets 1 or 2 objectives, and like, they just start goofing around. That's all that they're doing. So if you're going to participate in that, you need to see what they're doing, and you need to target an objective that they had just done. We need to stop, like, if you're Chilo, then ignore me. Or like, if you trade like Chilo, then ignore me, excuse me. But like, we need to stop trying to like target like these major lows like this. That's where like I was getting screwed up at with the ICT. Because like the ICT calls for me to target Asia highs and Asia lows, or London highs or London lows, and then you know, and then to pull 3 cats out of my hat wearing a tuxedo. I'm not trying to do that shit. I'm trying to sit here, bro, and I will read the market like ICT, and then I will see them manufacture something like this, and then like when they give me a reason that's why they're getting ready to go lower, then I will start targeting lows like this during the day over like the last hour or two, and I'm gonna be out. And I'm going to walk away from my damn screen. You want to know why? Because they have to do this every single day. If you want to know why I've been green for the last month, literally, now listen, that does not mean that I have not taken a loss in the last month. As in like I've taken break evens, yes. But like as far as like catastrophe, where like I blew up an account, bro, it's been like a month and a half. Literally, like every day has been green. It's because I'm trading what they've done. I'm not guessing. I'm logging into this screen every single day, and I'm looking at this chart, and I'm going, okay, where are they? What have they done? What have they not done? Where are they going and where are they not going? And I either take a position of where they're going, and I try to take a small piece of that pie, or based off of what they have previously done like this here, then once they completed a major objective and they start going lower, then I start targeting this like this. They have to engineer liquidity every single day. It's just a matter of, can you participate and how you can participate or not. The ICT answers that question on how you can participate safely and in the most efficient manner, and you will have first alert of when they're getting ready to do something. Because if they can't put 3 successful candles together and give you a first presented, then they're not going to change direction. So how do you see what I'm saying? So like, if they can't do that, then they're not going to change direction. Like, I mean, like, I'm just being honest with you. So that's going to be your first level of confirmation. If they're clearly hanging it around a high and they're goofing around at like the top of a high, then the ICT literally says that they're probably going to pop that high in order to pop that liquidity, in order to reprice it. So why would you go opposite of that? I mean, like, so like these are like the things in regards to like how I'll be looking at this. I'm just being dead serious. Be on alert. Okay? So like this is like a perfect example in regards to like what I'm talking about. So does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said from Discord, TikTok, X? Well, if you're on X, I'm not sure I'll be able to see the comments, rather. But on YouTube, anywhere, Discord, about anything that I just said, my entire goal while you're in here and while you're watching me trade live is to point things out so that I can get your brain going, so that you can then do the research on by yourself from inside Discord or in that knowledge center, and then you can figure out a way in regards to how you can participate, so that it will eventually click. I didn't have no mentor explaining this to me. I literally had to figure this out myself. And if you look at the price action on a daily basis, if you look at the price action on a daily basis, you'll see exactly what happens. I'm being dead serious. So just look at what happened whenever they popped this high. They just goofed around like they just went sideways nonstop on Friday. Look, they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. Nothing on Friday. Block that guy. Who has questions? Who benefits from the time distortion? Everybody. But us. Everybody. The market maker. They make money when the market goes sideways now. This was not a thing really before 0 DTE or 1 day to expiration. What is the line in the middle? The consequent encroachment of this 15-minute SIBI that we're goofing around in, that we might dump from within in like the next 2 hours. Who knows? They make money when the market goes sideways. The market makers make money when the market goes up, down, and sideways. So like we need to stop thinking that we're special. Like we need to stop thinking that, hey, you know what, man? Like these people out to get me. They're not out to get you. They're out to go fill orders. If they're out to get us, then I wouldn't be green for a month. And like, I'm not bragging because I could lose tomorrow. I'm being dead serious. But like, I'm just being honest with you. Like, it's getting to the point now where like people are tuning into the live stream, and I promise you, y'all saw that dude's comment. Like he was like, bro, I've been watching for like, he was like, bro, like I clicked on his profile. He's been following me for 3 weeks. And he was like, I've been watching every day. And do you lose, man? Every day I come in here and you're green. What's your, he was like, what's your risk to reward? What's your risk factor? And I was like, that's irrelevant. I'm being honest with you, because I might risk more on one trade than the next. But I promise you, it goes like that. And I'm not saying that this is him, but there's a lot of people here that log into this live stream only to try to pray to God that I lose, and I don't lose. But if they invested that time into actually understanding how they can participate in regards to what the hell I'm looking at, then we would be then we would be better off. So let's tie that so like genuinely irrelevant. Nico says 100%. It's 100% irrelevant. I'm being dead serious.
The other reason you win a lot is because you're not greedy.
That is 100% correct. Bang. That is 100%. That is 100% correct, dude. Once I make $300 per account max, I'm done, and I will do that of 3 to 4 micros, and indefinitely. Guys, listen. A 90% win rate can really turn into about like a 90. Guys. Let me put it like this. If you can figure out how to win 65 to 75% of the time, guys, you'll be surprised how often you will win. I'm being like dead serious. Look at this. Look. Just look at this message over here from the students. Look. Inside this. Just look. I want to show y'all something. Look. I'm being dead serious. Look. I'm being dead serious. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Look. Look at this. Where's it at? From Discord. Look. Where's it at? I don't want to, hold on real quick. I don't want to reveal the messages beforehand. Let me see something. Because I know someone sent it to me. Yeah, look. Look what Blink says. Look. Man, all I can say is wow. Last 2 weeks and a half have been just wow. Rinsed my first 2 payouts, first one across 2 accounts before my trade copy messed me up and I went on tilt and blew it. But outside of that, I am simply speechless as to how 2 months off to learning using this knowledge page, the knowledge center, and how this community has seriously steered my trading trajectory. I really appreciate you so much, E. Look, 200, 200, 150, 200, 400. Really good day, $1,900. Really put them over the curve. 200, 200, 200, 200, 900. Really good day again. I guess Mondays must be his days. 200. This dude hasn't lost in like 3 weeks. Been using the volume balance indicator for 2 days, and it's absolutely amazing to pair with everything else. This dude was insanely, guys, he was not profitable before this. He was not. This dude was not profitable before this. Because I was talking to him, because I was mentoring him about a daily loss limit. So he was not profitable before this. And now he's not losing. You want to know why? Guys, because here's the deal. And this is what I'm going to say before we delve into the lesson. And so, like, this is a lesson for everybody. Listen. If you have like a 60 to 75% win rate, and you flip that coin and you get heads once or twice, and you call heads once or twice, and you know that you're going to win like 60, 75% of the time more often than not because you've backtested your strategy, you know what they're probably going to do, and you have realistic expectations. Guys, you can delay that losing to the next day. Because if you're only going to lose 30 to 30, 25, 30, 45% of the time, and you win twice that day and you stop and you go to the next day, guys, that doesn't mean that the next time you take a trade that you're going to lose. Guys, because the market resets every single day. Every single trading day is a new day. And if you avoid the days and the disasters that most people fall victim to, dude, your win rate will skyrocket. You need to start doing things that are more productive and that are not going to destroy you. As in trading, if you trade on non-farm payrolls, that is going to factor into you losing. If you trade on CPI, that's going to factor into you losing. If you take 150 trades in a day, then of course you're going to probably lose more often than not. Then of course you're eventually going to lose everything. But if I know for a fact that I win 90% of the time, which is what I do, I know for a fact that day I will win 90% of the time. So like right around trade 6 or 7, I start getting cautious. I'm like, I don't know about this. Maybe I should stop. And then I stop. And then I reset the next day. And then the next day is the same thing. And the next day is the same thing. And like I blink and it's been like 30 or 45 days and I have not lost. And that's literally what's going on here. That's literally what some of the students are starting to piece together. And that's what I think that some of y'all should be doing if you're not insanely profitable or like if you're struggling. I'm being dead serious. You can delay you losing by weeks or months at a time. If you stop, just stop before the engine blows, man. Like man, woman, I'm being dead. Just stop before the engine blows. Just stop. Stop it. And then go to the next day. And the next day you have a 90% chance of winning. So which means which means what? You're probably going to win. And then you stop. And then the next day you're probably going to win again. And that's 90% chance of winning. Okay, guys, it doesn't matter how many times you flip a coin. It's always going to be 50-50. But if you've got, guys, if you change the rules of the game, and if you say, okay, instead of me flipping a coin, if instead of you going, well, you know what? Well, I need heads or tails, you're going to win 50% of the time. But if you stop it, if you change the rules of the game, if you go, okay, I am 100% going to flip this coin 10 times, and I need 10 tails or I need 10 heads, bro, you're going to lose. I'm getting chills you speaking right now. Yeah, I'm getting chills thinking about this, and I win. Because this is something that I did not realize. The reason why some of y'all are losing so badly, and I'm going to speak it again clearly, is because you're flipping the coin and not going, well, I just need a heads or a tails. You're flipping the coin and you're going, I need 5 heads. Do you know how hard that is? Now it's not 50-50, bro. You are going to lose one of those times. I'm being dead serious. Why? Because the odds are stacking up against you. But if you flip that coin and if you get heads one time or twice and you go, man, you know what? Man, I was doing really good. I'm going to stop. And then you come back the next day and you flip it again. You go, well, you know what? Dang, this is really good. Dude, your chances are always going to stay high. That's why. So I'm going to stop that rant. But I had to explain that to some people. I'm being dead serious. That's literally all that I'm doing. So when I flip that coin, I know that I'm going to get right. I know that I'm going to choose heads 90% of the time. But if I flip it 10 times, of course I'm going to lose. And when I lose, then I lose everything, or I'm done, or I hit my daily loss limit. So this is getting ready to tie into the second lesson again. Can you go MGC1? The market's not open. This is a class. Okay, Sean. What's up, everybody? Market makers are profitable whenever when options expire. Word, that is correct. But the market makers make money off this spread. You see this spread here? Guys, listen. If they have options, I know some of y'all are confused about, hey, well, how do they make money when it goes sideways? Guys, because if you're in 0 DTE and like if they just go sideways like this, guess what happens? Your options are being destroyed by theta decay. Guys, if they just go sideways and like if they don't choose a direction, even if you're on your cash account, you're going to close out that trade by that day because it's your cash account and you don't want to take that trade. Guys, it's your cash account and you don't want to take that chance because you don't know what's going to happen. So when you buy, they know you have to sell. When you short it as and you sell, they know you have to buy. So why would they care if it goes up or down? They only care about how they can get the most participants into this market. And I know some of you are probably thinking, well, if that's the case, then why don't they just go up 3% and then down 3% then? Huh? Well, would you buy something that just went up 3% and then down 3% and then up 3% and then down 3% and then up 6% and then down 6% in an hour? No, you would not. So how do you do that? You do the most obvious thing, but in the least obvious way that confuses the most amount of people. And then secondly speaking, how do you do that again? You know how you do that again? I'm getting ready to tell you. You program the thing that's controlling this market. And I'm going to close with this. You program the thing that's controlling this market, which is the algorithm, which is the computer. It is controlled by a computer. That is zero debate. You program it to do the exact opposite of what everyone is learning. I'm being dead serious. Because how would you fill the most amount of orders if the market did what everyone knew? No, I'm being dead serious because everyone would get out at the same time and no one would get caught with their pants down. I'm being dead serious. And my win rate is literally almost the exact opposite of what most people are doing. Because most people will, you want to know why? Because most people, why? Because 97% of people are not successful. I would win probably 95 to 97% of the time if it wasn't for manual intervention, or like if I wasn't in a trade and Trump was talking, or like if I wasn't a human, and sometimes I do suffer from, man, you know what, let me enter into this, and like I might enter slightly too early, or my account just can't withstand the move. So that drops my win percentage probably down like another 7 or 8%, and that's how I end up at 90. But 9 times out of 10, 95% of the time, my idea, my thesis is correct. I'm being dead serious. So I am literally the antithesis. If you're a little bit confused, I am literally the carbon copy opposite of what 98% of traders are. And I am, and like most of my trades are nothing more than psychological. It's just, well, where would they go in order to hurt the most amount of people? And how could I manage my risk off this? Oh, they're probably going to go here, so I take that. And then when those people get stopped out, I'm out before that. And I'm not greedy. And I stop, and I come back the next day. I am doing the exact opposite of what the book is telling you to do. And that is why I win. And I am using the ICT to manage my risk off of it and to understand how to read the market. There's nothing in between. There's nothing more than that. That is all of this is. And I am using it to make $30,000 to $40,000 a week. But there is no difference. I don't make more money than you. I'm being dead serious. I tell like people are enamored by how much money I make. Dude, who gives a shit? I tell people all the time, I only make like $4,500. I tell people all the time, dude, I only make like $4,000 a month. I'm being dead serious. I make $4,000 per month at the absolute most. My goal is to make $300 a day. That is it. I know for a fact that you can do that because I know for a fact that some of y'all probably make 50. The symbols inside here, I just saw it. A dude that was not profitable was making $2,000 in a day. Since when have you ever seen me do that? You're going to make more money than me while you're inside here. You will learn how to make more money than me. I'm being dead serious. But see, the difference is I spread it out linearly, and I activate the accounts, and I have eval instant pass. So that $3,500 to $4,000 per month that you see me making, you need to multiply that by 45 to 50. That is all that I am doing. There's nothing else. There is no magic. There is no secret. And I stop. I stop right before disaster strikes, and I let the engine reset. Does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said? Hold up. That's when your win rate has insurance if you size properly. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions in regards? Do you only trade futures? That is correct. I won't. Now, I might swing trade and I'll send that outside Discord, but the market's been at the all-time high lately, and none of the stocks that I've been monitoring have hit my alerts. So I haven't sent those out from inside Discord. And I will trade options every now and then, like swing trade options, but you can be doing that from inside Discord with the pre-market trading plan. You absolutely could. But before I go further, does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said before I delve into this question here, which is the question here is, what's the question here? Okay. It is, the question here is, where was it at? TPing too early. Okay. Now it begins. Have you ever had an issue to where you TP too early? If you have, hold on. If you've ever had an issue to where you are TPing too early, you can fix this by this. You need to understand this. These are the things that I know to have been true. I'm only going to speak on things that I know. If I don't know something, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be like, hey, I really don't know too much about that. Why? Because I can respect somebody where you ask them a question and they don't know the answer. And they just say, hey, man, you know what? Respectfully, I really don't know the answer to that. I don't want to steer you wrong. So that way you don't lead me down, tell me to go inside of a cave and there's a lion there and I get munched up. I mean, give me a fighting chance, man. We need to remove the voice from those people. So I'm going to tell you how I personally fix this because this used to be my issue. There is no such thing. There is no such thing as TPing early. I am pausing right now for dramatic effect because there are some people that are going to go, bro, what are you talking about, bro? I just asked that question. That is my problem. I'm telling you that's my problem. Because I enter and I TP out too early. And that's a problem. So how are you going to tell me what my problems are, what my problems are not? This is serious. Stop goofing around. I'm going to tell you why. You know why? If you won 100% of the time, if you knew for a fact that you were going to win 100% of the time, would there be an issue with TPing too early? I'm being dead serious. If you press this button right here, right now, and you figured, hey, you know what? These people are going to, hey, you know what? I'm going to short this right over here, and I know for a fact that we're going to pop this low 160 ticks away, and you got out right here 100% of the time for 75 ticks, would there be an issue? Yes or no? Hell, I'll even do you one better. If you long this right over here, like how I forget, because I long one of these moves, but it was this move right over here I bought at on Friday for the 1150 macro. Or no, I don't think that I did. It was one of these moves for the 1150 macro I longed. I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember. But I longed it because it was 5 minutes left and it was a volume imbalance and I got out. It may have been Friday. But I know for a fact that we took this trade on live stream. If you did what I did and you bought here and you were out within 120 ticks, like how I did here, and you knew for a fact that they were getting ready to come over here and pop this high, for example, and you got out right here and you did this move 100 times and you got this move 100 times, would you give a shit? Would we be sitting here complaining right now and be going, bro, I long that, bro, and bro, I longed that just now, bro, on 5 micros, man. On 5 micros for 120 ticks just now, bro. And I made $300, bro. And I did that 10 times in a row. Bro, you know what? And I did that 6 times in a row. And I got a maximum payout, bro. And I did that just now off of just 10 little accounts that cost me $800. And I'm making $20,000 a week, bro. Just like how you're doing off of only 10 of your accounts. And I'm making $20,000 every 5 days doing this shit, man. I'm sick of this, man. Let's go back to the drawing board. Will we be sitting here having this conversation? No, we would not be. I'm going to answer that question for you to save time. We would not be having that conversation. So with that being said, your perspective needs to change. The issue with you in regards to this is you have not done your homework. You need to do your homework in regards to what your win percentage is. You need to do your homework in regards to how much you are losing per trade. You need to do your homework in regards to, okay, I'm in this trade right now, and the likelihood that I take another trade and I get this back based off of my previous history is weaning. As in, like, if I take this trade right now and my normal profit target is 120 ticks, like let's just say on 5 micros, I am currently down 250 ticks right now, and I'm down $625. That means that I need to take 2 trades on this size to win in order to get back to where I was before. Listen to what I'm explaining to you now. You need to close your eyes and you need to visualize what I'm telling you. And that if not, that you need to press the rewind button when this live stream ends. That means that I need to win or be correct 2 more times in order to get back to where I was before. If that answer cannot be realized in 2 to 3 times without you going on tilt and without you full porting 50 contracts here and blowing your account in 1 candle against you, then what's happening is that's your issue. You need to recalculate that. You need to understand that. You need to recalculate that. Legend. What's up, Caroline? What's up, man? So we need to recalculate that, okay? All righty. So how do you do that? That begins to come into the equation in regards to what you guys hear me say all the time. What happens to me when that happens is I go, I am no longer trying to make any money. I go, I am in risk management mode and I'm not trying to make any money. I'm trying to minimize my losses. Whenever you're a high-level professional trader, I seriously think that you need to understand the difference between, hey, you know what? I am trying to make money and I am no longer trying to make money. You need to begin to manage the risk and the money that you have. You are a risk manager, not a day trader. You need to understand what I just told you. Your job is to be a risk manager, not a day trader. Your job is to not make money. It is to manage the capital that you have. And how you manage capital that you have is actually by having rules and regulations that you stick to and that you follow. If I go down 2R, I am no longer trying to make money. I am trying to minimize that loss, or at the best case scenario, get out for the smallest loss possible so that on my next chance, I can get back to break even or eclipse where I was just at. You can always close out a trade and get back in. But if you don't close out the trade and if you go too far deep inside the hole, you always won't be able to re-enter. You need to listen to what I just told you. If you blow your account, you can't take advantage of the opportunity that was just presented to you or that may be presented to you in the future. Your account has made the decision for you that you can no longer participate. You need to make the decision before your account does. Thanks, Clearline. Yes, sir. Trying to. We need to chop it up. DM me. All right. All right. So, with that being said, let me finish reading this inside the Discord, the message inside the Discord. Fix through understanding how much you normally lose per trade, what it takes for you to eclipse this deficit through your win percentage. Example, I know if I target 120 ticks, I can't let a trade go against me more than 250 if your win percentage is less than 60%, or you can't recover the losses in the next 2 trades. That's exactly what that means. That also means that, hey, you know what? Basically, in layman's terms, you know what? If I normally make $300 per trade, if I'm down $650, does my strategy allow me to be right for the next 2 to 3 times so I can get my money back? Whatever that is, that's conducive to your risk management. You need to understand what I told you. That's why I size the way I do, because I give myself the most opportunity to succeed. Guys, if I take a trade, I'm on 3 micros, and if I'm down 300 ticks on 3 micros and I cut that trade, I'm down $450. If I see one of these insane breakout strategies, right, or something crazy, some crazy on liquidity, and they actually give me a chance to be into my normal size, dude, and I take my normal trade of 120 ticks on 10 contracts, dude, look, I got all my money back in one trade just now from being down 300 ticks just on 10 contracts. I don't need to be in 15, 20. But that depends on like if I want to increase my size or not. This is also a perfect example on this. Why people say, well, how much should I risk per trade? I can't tell you how much to risk per trade. That changes on a daily basis. If all of the stars are aligning, then go normal size. Go 7, 8 contracts. Micros. Hell, even go up to 10. If all of the stars are aligning, I'm being dead serious. And then other times you might want to start it at 3, 4, or 5 at the absolute most. But if you start out on 20, there is no going back. You're done. The account's gone. You need to listen to what I'm telling you. If you start out at 150, going 150 miles an hour, bro, there ain't nowhere to go back down. You already started out revving the engine. So you either right or you wrong. You understand what I'm saying? 20 account going instantly. Yeah, you're done. All right? When I rushing to get payout caused me months of stress and money, greed and impatience. 0 from Discord says. Correct. Guys, listen, I'm going to explain something to you because I used to run my own hedge fund. I'm going to explain something to you very simply. This is irrefutable. You need to close your eyes and you need to think about this. Money is the only thing to where the faster that you try and run towards it, the further you get away from it. Stop and just think about what I just told you. This has been true my entire life. I cannot describe it. I cannot describe how accurate this is. Like the harder and faster that you try to accumulate money, the further away that you get from actually accumulating the money. Now, that doesn't mean that you just be reckless. You go, well, I just don't give a damn about money. You just go out and you just spend money. Be like, well, I manifest $100,000 on my checking account by the end of the week. No. Guys, I'm talking about like, dude, like if you're going, man, you know what? I could make $300 a day for 10 days here and then get a max payout after like 5 or 6 days, after like a week, right? Or you know what? I could go 30 contracts right now. I could go 30 contracts and try and get it in one trade and make $1,800 in one, or I'm sorry, 50 contracts right now, 5 micros, the maximum, and get to $3,000 right now in this one trade. I could. And then now you end up blowing the account, and now you got to go start the whole process over again. And now you got to pass the account, which probably take you a week, 2 weeks if you're trading normal and not doing nothing crazy. And now you got to build up that buffer. Now you got to get back to where you was before. Versus you just taking a week to then just trade 3 contracts and then take 6 or 7 good trades. And then like now you're at the max payout. So you were running nowhere fast. You're actually running in reverse because you were trying to get greedy and trying to jump on everything all at once, trying to latch onto it. You were being so impulsive. I'm being dead serious. Stop and just think about that. The richest people in the world are the richest people in the world because they deploy capital and they just let it sit there. I'm being dead serious. That's literally all they're doing. I'm being dead serious. That just is what it is. The easiest way to make money is just to have money just sitting there. I'm being like dead serious. Just guys, it works the same exact way with your credit. I'm being serious. Everything that you know whenever it comes to money, the more that you try to use it, the further away that you'll be running away from it. Just stop. Please just stop and think about what I just told you. It's true. And it works that same exact way with credit too. People, guys, banks and credits, guys, just stop and just think about this. Banks, car companies, etc. They don't want to loan out money to people that they know for a fact needs the money. I'm being dead serious. Guys, if they know that you have $50,000 in spending limit and you have $0 across all your credit cards, dude, you would be surprised how many goddamn credit card offers are going to come inside the mail to your house. But if you've maxed out all your cards and they know that you're in a thirsty position, boy, ain't nobody going to loan you no money. I'm being dead serious. And nobody is going to loan you no money. Money is going to be hard to come by. I'm being dead serious. I promise you, I'm not lying. I'm being dead serious. One of my closest friends asked me for $1,500, and I just had to make sure that he wasn't being hacked. I sent it to him instantaneously, and then he hit me back the next morning because he was like, bro, I'm in a pinch. He was like, bro, I just got over here in Mexico. And like, I knew he wasn't lying. I sent him $1,500. My brother, my blood brother, asked me a question, and he was like, bro, I need $150, bro, before my phone gets cut off. I sent him $150. He was like, bro, I'm going to pay you back in like 3 days. I got you. My check is coming. The random excuse that he gave me was random, but I knew this was going to be the case. And I told him, I was like, I know we're going to have this conversation. I told him on the phone, I was like, I knew we were going to have this conversation, and I knew that you weren't going to pay me back. And he was like, bro, my check was a third of the size than what it normally was. And then on top of that, I forgot that I owed money to Chime because I took out that extra, the extra paycheck advance. So my check was $250 and they took out $120 from Chime. And I only got $120 left. So I can't pay you the $150. I was like, bro. He was like, bro, why are you laughing? And I was like, bro, I'm laughing because I knew that we was going to have this conversation. I knew that we were. You're too thirsty. Let me stop the rant. In any event, you need to be on alert. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, in any event, but those are just some life examples, okay? So let's get back to the lesson, to the point of the lesson, rather. How to backtest the indicators. Let's go over these indicators, all right? Now, shall we? But before we proceed, does anybody have any questions? I got to stop myself from running these rants. They make sense, but they're true. And sometimes I need to explain them in multiple different ways to where they turn into a rant so other people can understand them. Why? Because not everybody's brain processes information the exact same way. Alrighty? You did think about what I just told you. I promise you. If the bank knows that you have $1 million, you can go inside. You can get a $2 or $3 million loan instantaneously. If they know for a fact that you're thirsty and that you're thirsty and you're still trying to get out a loan, boy, trying to get out a loan is going to be the hardest thing that you've ever done in your life. They don't trust you. They know that you're thirsty. Whenever you're thirsty, money is hard to come by. So you need to be patient and you need to stay consistent longer than your own impatience. That is how you escape the loophole. And you need to still act as though you're not thirsty. Even when you make money, that is how you escape. Anybody have any questions? Rushing to get okay, I read that. When I've blown all the money in my live account and then can't trade until I load it again and then may have to sit out 2 weeks or so, that has taught me my lesson. So I'm quicker to go break even and recalibrate or put stop and profit super early, Mama Trey. Hey, Mama Trey, how you doing, girl? Absolutely. I'm being dead serious. We need to compound. Hey, we need to compound over the course of time. All right. Okay. Now we're getting ready to go over the exclusive indicators that are unique to the Discord. What's up, Zay? We're getting ready to go over the indicators right now that are unique to the Discord. All right, guys. These are free to all of the students that are inside the Discord. It's 2 indicators. I'm paying to give you access to these because I can't give access them to everybody that's inside Discord unless I pay. But it's free if you're in here. All righty. Okay. I had to block that guy. Sorry. Okay. I'm not going to go over all of the details right now from this indicator. I'm not going to do that. Why am I not going to do so? The reason why I'm not going to do so right now is strictly because there is already a lesson that explains what everything goes through. However, I will explain how to backtest that. Let's start with arguably probably the most important one, liquidity draws. This is going to be something that's very simple. These things show up every single day. What you see me trading happens every single day. They have to engineer liquidity every single day. They don't have to take out Asia or London highs every single day. When you start thinking in probabilities, does your trading strategy show you something that occurs every single day? How do you manage your risk off that? Does your strategy show you where or what they are doing? If the answer to that is no, then you need to throw it in the trash. Does your trading strategy answer the question of, okay, well, how can I participate in what they are doing? If the answer to that is no, then okay, great, you need to throw it inside the trash. I'm being dead serious. Or at least you need to pair it with, or at least you need to pair it with another thing or two that will, or you need to understand something that will, and then maybe do that. These indicators answer both of the most important questions, and they leave out the least important question, which is the most irrelevant one, which is why? Why? Why was this the case? Hold on, where was this at? Why? Here is why. Why did the market just now dump 1% in 75 seconds on Friday at 10:32? Why? And then why did they immediately bounce it back up like that? This is bearish. Why did they do that? I'll tell you why. It's irrelevant. I'll tell you how they did it though. Trump, exactly. How they did it was Trump. Why is irrelevant, but why is the most important questions to humans. You need to throw that away. You need to start trading like an algorithm. You need to listen to what I told you. I have this on my desk. It literally says trade like an algo. And in quotes, it says trade like an algo. And then like in computer Morse code, like computer coding code, like the coding font, it says trade like an algo. Green, when system says green, buy. When system says sell, short. And then directly in the middle, it says, when system says neither, do nothing. That's what you need to start trading like. You need to forget the why. It is irrelevant. Why will cause you to lose. It is completely irrelevant. The how and the what they're doing is far more important. This right over here explains to you what they are doing or what they have done and what they're going to do next. And then there's also liquidity draws as well, like the New York HOD and then the New York LOD. The Asia HOD and the Asia and London HOD, New York session, and then the Asia and London lows, are going to be like over here. It also shows gap fills. New York low, New York previous day low. Those are just simple draws in liquidity, okay? In regards to what is being shown on this indicator, okay? So those are just some of the things that are being shown, okay? On this indicator, I'm not going to go into crazy in depth because I've already explained this before. I'm going to get ready, I'm going to show like how you can backtest this. Obviously, the perfect round hole numbers. This is the strongest drawn liquidity that you can ever imagine. There's nothing stronger than a perfect round hole number. Okay, so you need to always have this enabled. Here's a new update. So one of the students requested this 3 or 4 days ago, but because I'm live streaming during the week, I don't have the opportunity in order for me to really make changes until the weekend. So I added a color option in order for you to change the colors in the program each session to a specific color so your brain can recognize it. If you are trading during Asia, this is mandatory. This liquidity draw indicator works across all of the assets. It works across every single asset because every single thing that is traded by a computer operates under this. If there's a perfect double or perfect double top, or double bottom, but they're probably going to attack it. So don't do that. If it's a perfect round hole number, even on gold, they're probably going to attack it. So don't do that. You need to know where the Asia and London highs are if you're trading Asia and London. So there it is right over here. You need to know where the New York session high and the current New York session HOD and LOD is. So you need to pay attention to that. This is everything that you need to know and everything that you don't. And it leaves out everything that you don't need to know. Now, getting into the question, how do you backtest that? You want to know how you backtest this? You come over here and you come over here and you click one, and like you click one of these. If you click this, for example, and you click show past and invalidated occurrences on perfect round hole numbers. Look at this, look. Let's look. Every single time that they've touched a perfect round hole number, like for example, when did they do it at? Over here. They did it over here on this candle right over here. They went through it the next time. All right? So I remember on live stream, they did this and I was like, they're getting ready to go higher. Every single time that they've done a perfect round hole number high or a perfect round hole number low, like this, they have reattacked it. So what you need to be trying to do is you need to be trying to figure out, okay, if they displace from it and if I get the chance to trade it, how can I participate? Because they're doing this 100% of the time. Here's another example. The low of this candle was 719, and then they dumped it through the next minute. Every single perfect round hole number, like here's another example. A perfect high is 724 over here. Higher 724. Now they went higher than the next minute, but there are going to be opportunities to where they do something like this and they come up to a perfect round hole number and then they displace from it. And then they start curling it back up or giving you a reason on as to how you can participate over here and something over here you can manage your risk off of. You then know that they're going to eclipse this, for example. This is what you participate on. The indicator is just showing you what they've done. Just because they show it does not mean that they give you a chance to participate. You know, listen to what I just told you. Because if the high of this candle over here is 724, why would you long this over here on the next candle in order to try and get 3 ticks on the 3 ticks higher and put yourself in a negative risk? But there will be a chance to where this indicator shows you something, for example, like this. This right over here is a perfect double bottom. It shows double bottoms and double tops, triple bottoms and triple bottoms, triple bottoms and triple tops, rather. Excuse me. If they displace from something like this and they come here like this and they start curling this down, what makes you think that they're not going to disrupt this? So then the ICT answers the question of how you can participate to then target this, for example. It will automatically show you. I've programmed it. So this is like, guys, this, since I've been trading with this indicator, I have not lost. I'm being dead serious. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. This is verifiable. 100%. You can go on to YouTube and you can go check. Go on to YouTube and go look at it yourself. You'll see. Just scroll past every single video and let me know if I'm in the red. I have not lost since I've been using this. Why? Because it's like 2 of me trading. I don't need to think anymore. I can see what they're doing. And when they come away from it, I can see where they're getting ready to target. Okay? So that's how you backtest this indicator. So you can click on that to see the past invalid occurrences. But honestly speaking, in reality, you need to be watching price action with this indicator up during live trading. And then once it appears, you then need to see how they go about attacking it. And you need to be notating and journaling how they go about attacking it. And every single time that they invalidate it, you need to look and see how they did it and how you can participate in what they had just done for the next time. So the next time they show it, you go, oh, that's a double or triple bottom. There's probably about a 90% chance that they're going to take that out. So when they displace away from it, how can I participate? And then that's where that knowledge center comes into play at. And that's where the models inside the Discord come into play at. And that's where these lessons right now inside this Discord come into play at. To where you can begin to formulate, how can I participate in a way that's conducive to the account that I am personally trading and my personal trading psychology? That is all that needs to be answered. I'm being dead serious. Does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said before I move on to the next indicator? Okay, good. That's liquidity draws. The next indicator is called the true volume imbalance indicator. This is a little bit more advanced. You know what happens with these. They come back and they come fill these literally like 90% of the time. 95% of the time, I would say. I can show you something that occurs 95% of the time as well. Do you want to see it? Do you want to backtest it ourselves? Let's see. Let's backtest every single volume balance from Friday and let's see if they came back to come fill it. We will start from the beginning on Friday and then we will see what happens right after. Anything larger than a 16, I'm sorry, no, 16. I was 16 right there. Excuse me. Anything larger than a 5 or a 6 catches my attention. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Close at 52, then the low of this candle over here is 65. The difference between that is a 13. They filled this one. That's 1. Anything larger than a 5 catches my attention. Close at 23, then the high of this candle over here is 16. That's a 7 right here. That's 2 for 2. Okay. Oh, let's see. I'm just looking for the volume balance gaps right over here. Close at 23. High of this candle is 16. That's a 7. Close of this candle is 19. The high of this candle is 12. That's a 9. They came back to come fill this a few minutes later. That's 3 for 3 so far. We're up to 100% of the time that they've come back and filled this. Yada, yada, yada. Close at 64. Then the high of this candle is 59. That's a 5. I would somewhat pay attention to this, but this would maybe be on my radar. That's 4 for 4. Close at 74. The low of this candle is 79. That's 5 for 5 so far. Okay. 100% of the time. Close at 36. Then the low of this candle is 40. They came back to come fill this over here, but I'm not going to count that. We're still at 100%. We're still at 100 percentile. They left a 16-point volume balance over here, and this would be the one time where people were trying to trade us and it would blow up their account. They never curl back down towards this. So I would not have traded this. And then on top of that, it's the 1150 macro, so I'm not going to short that. I remember watching this on live stream because I remember asking Super Society the question, should we short this? Y'all remember when I asked her this question? And I was like, should we short this? And then like everyone was like, well, nah, it's 1150 macro, don't do that. So I was like, okay, great, we're not going to do that. So I would not have traded this. Why? Because why would I short the 1150 macro? So here's a perfect example that they left behind. So this is invalidated. Here it is right over here during the 1150 macro again. Why would I short that? I'm not going to do that. I remember on live stream. But nevertheless, let's close at 30, and then the low of this candle is 35. So that's 5 for 7 so far that they've done this on. Close of this candle is 76. The low of this candle is 88. That's a 12. That's 6 for 8 so far that they've done this on. Look at that. Close at 97. The high of this candle is 92. That's 7 for 9. That's not one. I'm looking. Close at 25. Then the high of this candle is 18. That's a 7. Right now we're up for what? 8 for 10 or 7 for 9? I don't know. 8 for 10. We're up to 80% of the time. Close at 24. High of this candle is 17. We're 9 for 11 so far. We're getting to 1 o'clock. I stopped paying attention on past 3 o'clock. Why? Because the last hour of the day, anything can happen. Okay, here's a 6. We're 9 for 12 so far. This is honestly the worst percentage that I've seen so far. So they left this 6 over here, this volume balance, as indicated as to, and they came back and they tried to, but they didn't fill it. But still, though, that's 9 for 12. Do I see anything else of any importance heading into 3 o'clock? What's this? Close at 77, high of 73. That's a 4. They came back and filled it, but I don't count that. Anything larger than a 5, I'm paying attention to in the QQQ. Anything larger than a 5, I'm paying attention to. Close at 63. High of this candle is 58. That is 10 for 13 so far. This is the worst percentage that I've seen. Talk to me.
See, my problem is I hear you calling them
77%.
but I'm looking over to the right, and those numbers that you're calling is not.
It's not what?
I don't see the numbers you're calling. Like you'll say, this is at 59, and then this go to whatever. I
Correct.
don't see the numbers on the left. I mean, on the right
On the right to
that you're
where?
looking on the numbers on the right, the price on the right. Like I see 725.43. Okay. Or you'll put it right there, 725.62, where you have it at now. I see that number.
Yeah, it
But you'll
closed at 8.
say,
So yeah, it closed at 7. So this is how I'm calculating it. I'm hovering my cursor above the candle, and it's at 725.77. The volume balance indicator is not going to show it because it was filled. If you want to, if you wanted to show it, then you're gonna have to click this, and you're gonna have to click, where's it at? You're gonna have to click remove imbalance like this, and then watch it appear. Watch. Then it'll show you where it once was. You see how it was reduced to a 0? You see how it's right here? So it shows you where they previously were, where it tripped off the alarm, where it tripped off the alert. They've been reduced. All of these are volume balances that have been filled throughout this day on Friday. All of them. And then look at how many were left. 3 this entire day. This is something that occurs 80% of the time. Now, let me not get distracted. Let me answer your question. I hover the cursor above where we closed at versus the higher the low, whichever one is closer to the next candle, is exactly how I calculate the imbalance. So, but the indicator does the work for me. So we closed at 77, and I'm looking at this number right over here, and I'm doing the math in my head.
oh, you're looking at the number at the top.
Correct. At the
Okay.
top. Correct. So
Okay.
I'm looking.
So I was looking to the right.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the right tells you the current price the current price now. This tells you the current price now. I'm looking, like, I'm hovering my mouse above the current candle, and I'm analyzing the data from the candle, and then the current candle, and that price difference is the true volume imbalance, where nothing was traded at. The larger that number,
go
the
up to the
stronger the
top.
gravitational pull. So what?
So go up to the top and show me where you look when you hover when you hover the mouse over the candle.
Where you see those
What are
red
you
numbers
looking
at,
at the
where you
top?
see 725 right over there next to NASDAQ, 720, O's 725.82, H 725.85, L 725.72, C 725.77. I am looking at C 725.77, and whichever one is close to the next candle to that is the number I'm subtracting it from. So in the next candle, the higher the next candle is 725.77. So I'm calculating that difference.
Okay. I got you. Now I understand.
I don't see the numbers you're referencing. What do you mean, D
Thank you.
Brown?
Thank you.
The numbers that I'm referencing is literally at the top of the screen. You see where indicators is at the top of my screen? You see those numbers in red? Those are the numbers that I'm referencing. Okay, great question. All righty, in red, correct. That is what the indicator is calculating. I now no longer have to do math in my head. This indicator, I don't have to do this. I am looking at something that is going to win 80 to 90% of the time. And it does it automatically for me now. I don't have to think about it. So when they start curling towards something, I'm probably thinking, I'm going, well, they're probably going to target it. If you exclude the fact that you should not have shorted this for the 1150 macro, they only missed one opportunity this entire day. This occurred 95% of the time that day. Because we were on live stream and we would not have shorted that. There's no way in hell you do that. You just don't do that. But even then, no, this is something that occurs 80%. This is right here. On this day was 80%. They do this every single day. This is why my win rate is so high. Because I'm just targeting what they're doing. They left a mistake and they want to correct it. So that is how you begin to backtest the true volume balance indicators. Anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just disclosed, please? Anybody? Who has any questions about anything that I just said? Anything further? We're now opening up to random questions, but if not, then this class has been running for about a little bit more than an hour.
So when the indicator marks that, and it targets back down toward the sell side. You're saying that's an opportunity there or no?
It is a hold on, let me play this. It is not necessarily an opportunity because you have opportunity every single time in the market. Because you press the button, you're either going to be right or wrong. So the opportunity is always there with the market. It is something to where you know that it is a gravitational pull in the market. So your rules and your regulations need to, like, for example, like, okay, what that is it shows you what they are doing and what they had just done. You then need to answer the question of okay, how can I participate in regards to what they had just previously done? Or can I see what they what they are currently doing right now? Does it align with what this indicator is showing me? And let me elaborate on that. If you see a 16-point volume balance over here at 1146 at the bottom and we just dump like this, what they had just done was created this imbalance here. How you can participate is probably by shorting it into one of these imbalances whenever they start curling it or rejecting it. They never curled, like they never tapped and rejected into one of these imbalances up here above it. How you can participate is by shorting it, not at the 1150 macro. So you wait until the macro is over with and then you reevaluate. So if you follow the how I can participate, these never came into the equation because you don't short the 1150 macro. You know for a fact that you're going to lose 92 to 95% of the time is this. 92 to 95% of the time. You just don't do that. You're going to lose. So then you start to look into the question, well, how can I participate elsewhere? And then if they started dumping this and they gave you imbalances lower and they started, well, now you know they're getting rid of target, so that you shorted and managed versus some up here above head. How I can participate is here. What they're doing, they just dumped it and they're getting rid of target this volume balance over here. And then you need to pair that with another drawn liquidity. You cannot just strictly trade volume balances. It needs to be paired with a drawn liquidity, like for example, like a trend line of some sort, like opposite of a trend. Guys, this is just basic trading. Like not trend line as in like, well, you know what? We tapped this so we getting ready to bounce. No, as in like we tapped this 3 times and we getting ready to attack. Or you know what? I'm pairing it with a double bottom of some sort. I'm pairing it with a volume balance ahead of a double top. Like I'm pairing that with we had just swept a high or a low and now we're coming back down. Now we're curling it again. You need to pair it with a draw on liquidity. You can't just go, well, there's a 12 there, so I'm going to just short it blindly. You cannot do that. And I know some are probably thinking, bro, I literally just saw you secure a $12,000 payout on Thursday by doing that. I saw that. Yes, I exercise discretion. There was a 24-point volume balance on QQQ, and I was only in 1 micro. So if they would have kept dumping it, I would have just kept adding towards it because I knew that they were going to come back and fill a 24-point volume balance 100% of the time. So we all still need to exercise discretion. And that's why I say I am ICT discretionary. Because if I don't give a shit if I see a 16-point volume balance right over here, why would I short this at 1150 macro? Why would I do that for? That makes no sense. The rules are there in order to stop you. Because the rules are the rules for a reason. Why? Because it probably means that you're going to get hurt if you break them. That's why. If you see us pulling back or we're tapping into a 15-minute BISI, why would you short that for until the 15-minute BISI? We're probably going to bounce out of it. So just wait for us to bounce out of it and then short it on a bounce. If you're so convinced, why not? What, we bouncing now what? Now you want to change your mind? So you wanted to short it into the hole, but you don't want to short it on a bounce? What sense does that make? Stop it, guys. I just keep on bringing these analogies out of my butt because I'm just trying to get you to critically think. So you wanted to short into the hole, but you didn't want to short it on the bounce. once we displaced from where you were getting ready to short it from. Okay, gotcha. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, what happens like if they dump it and I miss my short opportunity? Okay, great. So they just dumped it. So now you know for a fact that that BISI is invalidated. Now I start looking for a long opportunity potentially. Or if they dump it, well, now you know for a fact that they're getting ready to go lower. So then bounce. So then when they do bounce, then short it again. I'm being dead serious. If you start thinking like that, you'll start to remove the FOMO. The reason why most of y'all have FOMO is because your strategy is predicated on whether or not the market goes up or down. I'm laughing, but I'm being dead serious. Stop and just think about what I just told you. The reason why you have FOMO is because you have fear of missing out on your strategy. Or you go, well, dang, I can only, well, everyone else told me that I shouldn't trade on Fridays, and I really can't trade on Mondays, and the FOMC is on Wednesday, so I only got 2 days to trade this week, so I got to make my money today.
You said a big word right there that
Talk to me.
I'm a victim to is the fear of missing the trade.
Yes. That's the reason why a lot of people lose. My strategy is not predicated at all on if they go up or down. I don't care if they go up or down. The only thing that I care about is if they go sideways. Because if they go sideways, then that means they're not doing nothing. So why would I trade? If they're just doing this and they're just going sideways like this, why would you trade for it? You're just going to be sitting over here stressed out, just goofing around. If they go up, then I answer my question of, okay, well, where are they going up to? And how can I participate in them going up? On a pullback, it's clear as day that they're getting ready to target something. So does this indicator or does this strategy tell me where they're targeting? And the answer to that is yes. If they're dumping it, then I go, well, they're clearly dumping it for a reason. Where they're trying to go to. So like I look to my left. And I go, okay, well, how can I participate? Well, the ICT and the strategy tell me how I can participate in this. That is literally all that that's all that this game is that we're playing. This charade that we're on. That's all that this is. You just listen to what I just told you. So if you're one of those like head and shoulders pattern is predicated on up or down. So I throw that in the trash. I'm being dead serious. Guys, listen. And this ties back into what I was saying earlier. I had just proven to you that the market makers don't care if the market goes up or down. I had proven that to you. That is irrefutable. You cannot debate that. Debate with me if you want to. They don't care if it goes up or down. I'm talking about intraday, they don't. They care if it goes up or down, yes. Over the course of multiple years, yes. Or like a year or two, yes. Because the market is inherently designed to go higher. If it doesn't go higher, then it's called SPY, NASDAQ, and QQQ or NQ rebalancing. They remove the stocks that go lower and that weigh it down, and they replace it with ones that are going parabolic. You need to understand that. Do you understand that SpaceX was the fastest stock to ever be added to the NASDAQ 100? And all it took them was a week and a half? Why the hell do you think that's the case? Do you understand there's only 100 stocks? So in order for them to be added, somebody had to be kicked out. Stop and just listen to what I just told you. Why would they kick somebody out that's doing good? They're not going to do that. So they care about it going higher. But that's over the course of 1 to 2 to 3 years. But during the day, they don't care if this market goes higher or lower. They don't care, man. So why do you care? Your strategy needs to be based upon what they're doing right now and whether or not it's conducive to your risk to even participate. I'm not going to participate on non-farm payrolls because I know what that means. I'll choose another day to trade. Does anybody have any questions in regards to anything that I just said or anything that I just quote unquote, hopefully I just revealed anything to you? It's an error with the algorithm. There's a high probability to get filled with a draw and liquidity. Also has a large enough volume imbalance. If not, they can leave and not fill it for a long time. That is correct. Starting to grasp that, trying to develop my trading plan. Why do you short more than buy? Is it easier to get 100 to 130 ticks? The reason why it may appear that I am shorting more than buying is one very important concept. Shorting typically delivers price action more cleaner. You want to know why? Does anybody have any idea in regards to why shorting, and as to why probably about 65 to 70% of my trades are shorts? On as to why price action delivers cleaner than shorts. Do you want to know why? Does anybody know why?
Volatility.
Nah, not necessarily. That's something to do with volatility. Does anybody know why? TikTok, does anybody know why? Does anybody know why? Discord, does anybody know why? I'm being dead serious. Do you know why? Yes, I want to know. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna tell you, I promise you. I'm not gonna just cut the live stream without telling you. Downward pressure means less hedging. No. It's a lot more simple than that. I mean, I see what you're saying, Zero, but no. What goes up must come down. That is not true. They can go up indefinitely. It just depends on the time frame that you're looking at. They don't have to come back lower. But typically speaking, because they could squeeze something and just go sideways and then go higher again. They don't have to come back down. They can just go higher. So I don't want you to just necessarily think that. Because if that's the case, then you're going to swear and die by RSI. You're going to swear and die by RSI. RSI, to me, especially during the New York session, is not going to be fruitful at all. Because more overbought can become more overbought. And more oversold can become more oversold. Do you understand that a month and a half ago, they went higher for a month and a half straight, and they never had a red day? We were just squeezing higher onto new all-time high indefinitely. They never went lower. They don't have to go back lower. The answer to this question, and in regards to why that's the case, is because typically speaking, once I identify a liquidity target, especially like a double bottom, or especially something that's lower, the reason on as to why I'm in those shorts more is because they like to lay the cheese lower or lower draws on liquidity, and then they attack those. And the reason why there's more attack points lower, typically speaking, and it's because price delivers cleaner to those objectives. And the reason why that's the case is because it takes nothing to sell. And it takes actual capital to buy. Listen to what I just told you. You need to have money inside of an account in order to buy something, and you need capital readily available to deploy. If you already own something, you can sell it at whatever price that you want it to be at. You don't have to, guys, if I buy QQ at 725.53 right now, I have to, guys, if I want to get out at 726.40, I need to have this, guys, I need to have the money to buy it first off, to buy it. And then in order for me to make money on it, I need to set a profit target higher. So the price needs to get to that point. You need to listen to what I just told you. Guys, if they just start dumping this shit like this here, everyone is going to be getting out at random places. It takes nothing to sell what you had already, guys, it takes nothing to sell what you own. And on top of that, you can naked short sell. If you have collateral, you can. You don't have to buy an asset to short it. You do, guys, it's called naked short selling. You can do that, I'm being dead serious. As long as you got just as long as you have collateral, you can do that, That's why things precipitate to the floor faster. And that's why price delivers faster. That's why, are you ready for signals? Link in bio. Block that guy. I got him. That's why a lot of my trades are shorts, because I can see the price action being delivered cleaner. All right? That's why things precipitate through the floor faster. So I know it might be a hard concept for a lot of people to grasp, but you need to understand that. Guys, if you bought this right over here, you can liquidate your whole position. Guys, If you press sell limit, guys, if you press market sell limit order, or like if you just randomly just press, guys, you can sell at whatever price the market's at, and it is going to fill you at whatever ticker it is, wherever it's at. If I try to sell something, so guys, if I bought something and if I try to buy it, I'm sorry, guys, if I bought something and if I'm trying to sell it at a specific price, the market needs to build its way up, or it needs to get there to that price in order for it to be filled. If they just start dumping this shit like this through this floor, bro, dude, so many orders are just going to be just goddamn just coming through this wire like this. Guys, there's a lot less people just randomly lining up to buy at random places as the market's going higher. You want to know why? Guys, you want to know why? Another way to look at this is like this. Who's randomly just going, man, you know what? Now looks like a good buy. Now looks like a good spot for me to buy a QQQ at 725.69. I want to buy a QQQ at 725.72. I want to buy a QQQ at 725.79. No. Like, the market needs to build up and get to a specific level higher to then convince people to get out. People aren't doing that. Bro, if they precipitate this shit through the floor, every single person that bought up here in this zone is going to be going, holy shit, I'm going to get out now. I'm out of here. And they're going to be getting out here. They're not going to be going, but if they bought it, they're not going to be going, well, I have $100,000 in capital and I'm going to buy at 725.74, 725.82, 726.05. Man, they're not doing that shit. That's why it precipitates through the floor faster, because they get to fill orders faster. So I want to be on that side. I mean, that's irrefutable. Just listen to what I just told you. But a lot of y'all won't think of it like that until I explain it to you like that. I had to run my own hedge fund for me to understand that. I'm being dead serious. Because I couldn't understand liquidity and I couldn't understand what they were doing. You just listen to what I just told you. Does anybody have any questions regarding the thing that I just disclosed? It's true. That's why they precipitated through the floor faster. All right? And that's why at certain zones, I say they're getting ready to take that out. You want to know why? Because at a specific zone, they know like if they pop this high right over here, then they can fill orders and then they just start targeting it lower. You understand what I just told you? So once they fill the orders, then, I mean, and it makes sense because it revolves around their primary objective. This entire market goes around in a hamster wheel like this. At the top of their list right over here is filling orders. Right over here is creating imbalances, and right over here is filling imbalances. So it literally goes like this. It literally goes like this. They create imbalances to then fill orders. And then they'll go sideways, and then they'll fill imbalances. And then after they filled imbalances, then they'll come up over here to then fill orders again. Dude, this is like a never-ending hamster wheel. And then every now and then in the middle, you'll get manual intervention where like they'll just destroy everybody. But it literally goes around like this hamster wheel. Because you want to know why it's at the top? Because, and here's the deal, they can also fill orders by just going sideways through time distortion. That's doing nothing, so they don't have to create imbalances. But a lot of the times it goes like this. They have to fill orders by creating imbalances. And then in their pursuit of filling orders, they're going to then consequently come over here. I know this illustration is horrible. I'm not no Picasso. As you can tell, it's not my strong suit. Then they're going to fill imbalances over here to the left. That's all that they're doing. They're creating imbalances and then filling them, creating imbalances and then filling them. And then both of these funnel into the top objective, which is to fill orders. That's all that they're doing. That's all this market is. That's all it is, and that's all it is. That's all it is, and that's all it ever will be. This is the greatest money-making machine that you have ever seen in the history of money-making. There was nothing better than this. They have this on lock. This is better than printing money. You want to know why it's better than printing money at the Federal Reserve? Because at least when they do that, because worst case scenario, when they do that, They suffer from inflation, and they have to suck the money back out of the market eventually. With this, there's no sucking it out. They make money when it goes up, down, and sideways. There's nothing better than this. If they print $1 trillion, then they're gonna devalue the currency. So they can make money now, but then they got to pay for it later. But ultimately speaking, they don't have to pay. You have to pay for it. That's a story for another day, though. That's why I told everybody that you don't want government handouts, because when the government gives away free things, you're going to pay for it later. And now all y'all are crying and complaining because your $1,000 rent 3 or 4 years later is sitting at damn $1,900. But anything and everything for that stimulus check, huh? For that $1,000 stimmy, huh? They came back and got that shit back in blood, didn't they? Eggs were like $4 a carton. The rent at one of my homes went from $2,000 to like a comparable home was $3,500 in less than 16 months. A comparable home. I'm just now starting to see rent prices go down. But they went down from where they were before. They're still high. Why? Because they jacked the price of something up 500% and then they discounted 10%. It's still way higher than it was before. If they raise the price of something from $5 to $15 and then they give you a 33% off discount, Goofy, do you understand that the price of that thing still doubled? Why? It more than doubled. Why? Because it was at $5 and now it's at $12. But then they discounted it. It went down. It went down 33%. But it's still sitting at $12 from where it was just last week. It's still higher. That's all that they're doing. They're confusing you. They're playing a charade game, and you don't realize it yet. It's time to be on alert. Anyway, that may conclude everything. Does anybody have any questions before we conclude? I said a lot, but I love talking a lot as long as it helps people. We'll be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. in the morning from inside Discord. 10 a.m. in the morning live trading from inside TikTok and YouTube and X now. I'm now going live on the X, on the Twitter. I figured out how to go live. They just added this feature. So I will be going live every single day from YouTube, X, and okay? So if you're confused, we'll see you live at 10 a.m. in the morning. If you have any questions, DM me, please. On NASDAQ Mini Futures, do you think that when the market opens, I should do a sell order? I have no idea if that's the case. I don't even know what, that reminds me. The pre-market trading plan. I have no idea what they're getting ready to do next. Trump said that, Iran said that the Strait of Hormuz is closed this weekend. And Trump said it's open. We have no idea what they're getting ready to do. Trump also said that the ceasefire is over with as well. And Iran is firing drones at boats. So I don't know what's going on. I think that you should wait and see how the market reacts and what liquidity gets engineered, and you target that. That's what I recommend. That's why alert services are scams. Because how can someone know what the market's getting ready to do before the market does it? You don't know. You need to read the price action and see what they're doing right now and then just go from there. Like, can you imagine sitting here and someone saying, hey, and someone going, hey, once we get to this level, put a buy limit order. And like they send it out inside some random Discord, and you put a buy limit order here, or they go, hey, I think the market's gonna pull back, so put a sell, put a buy limit order here on a pullback. And you put a limit, you literally put a buy limit order right over here. They were right, the market pulled back. But you were following the group's instructions and you put a buy limit order right over here, and then they just flash just like this over the next 45 seconds, like literally like 0.75% down your throat. How is that supposed to tell you and go, man, you know what? Don't do that. Alert services are scams. The only thing that's going to get you is for you to blow up your account. And then it's not going to answer the question in regards to how you can personally improve. You just listen to what I just told you. That is a 100% fact. Everybody, and I want to add this because I was thinking about this whole weekend. Everybody wants to get rich for nothing. Everybody's looking for some get rich quick scheme instead of actually just sitting here and just learning from somebody that's doing it on a daily basis. But a lot of times people are charging $1,500 to $2,500 per month, so I get that. But everybody wants to get rich for nothing. Nobody wants to actually learn. Everybody's trying to search for AI on how to trade. What $1 million business do you know where you can just log in and you don't have to learn the curriculum? Do you personally know anybody that's doing that? Yes or no? This is a valid question to yourself. Yes or no? Do you know anybody where they were just like, bro, like, I just woke up, bro, one day, and like I just came across this thing, and like I don't even have to learn it, bro, for real. Like, so like this is great, bro. Like, and like they have no responsibilities. Like they don't have to learn shit. And you're like, bro, I'm just making like $10,000 a week doing this, bro. This is absolutely amazing. Do you know anybody like that? I don't. I'm being dead serious. So why are you trying to find that answer for? Why are you trying to be the one diamond in the rough for instead of just doing it the correct way and learning? You as an individual, join the support as always, but trading is AI. It's automated. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why? Like, just like, dude, like, just learn, bro. What's so hard about that? So the point I was trying to make is everybody's trying to get something for nothing. Like, the answers to your profitability is inside this Discord. It's inside that knowledge center. So help me God it is. You see it every single day. I live trade every single day. I'm doing it right in front of you every single day. Hell, if you just copy my trades, and dude, if you had $1,000 to spare, and if you just copy my trades, you'd be making $20,000 a week, or minimum $10,000 a week, minimum 10 bands a week, minimum. If you had $1,000 and not give me $1,000, I'm talking about just $1,000 to invest in eval instant pass and to get 10 funded accounts, and you just copy my trades alone. Because you would just do what I'm doing, and like you would just off those 10 accounts, you would make $12,000 a week. That's what I'm doing off of those 10 accounts alone. Because you're not gonna stop at exactly 200. One day you might make 250, one day you make 300. So it's gonna balance out to be about $1,150 every week, $1,150 a week. That's all that I'm making, times 10 to $1,200 a week times 10. Every 5 days with Apex. I mean, what is it? But see, what it is because I'm not giving you the guarantee that you're going to 100% do that, and that you have to read, and you have to, and like you actually have to learn how to manage your risk in the event that I do lose. That's why you want to watch for free. I'm being dead serious. That's why. Because you're scared of the unknown. You're scared. And you don't trust yourself. You don't trust the fact that, man, you know what? If I put in a little bit of extra work, I can maybe do this by myself. And I'm telling you that you need to do it by yourself. And I'm not making it easy on you. And I'm not saying come over here and copy my trades and do this. I'm telling you directly, don't do that. If I switched my whole MO and I did that from inside Discord, we would have 1,000 people. We would have 2,000 people inside this Discord. If I just said, everyone come over here and blindly copy all of my trades, but you can't copy my trades unless you're inside Discord, because there's a latency. There's like a 15-second latency delay. So like that's impossible. You can't do that. But like if I was advertising, if I was like, I have the ultimate signal group, and all you have to pay is a $300 lifetime membership fee to be inside Discord, $300, or $150 every 3 months. And I said, copy my trades, and in a month and a half to 2 months, I can turn you into somebody that's making $10,000+ a week. Boy, we would have 5,000 people inside this Discord. There will be nobody to stop us. And I know what it takes in order for us to get to that level, but I refuse to go down that route because I'm not going to appease you. You need to figure it out yourself. Everyone's trying to get something for nothing. Don't go down that route. Go down the route of actually learning so that you can do it yourself. And stop trying to get everything for nothing. That reason right there is exactly why you won't have everything. I'm being dead serious. The people that always try to get something for nothing, it's miraculous how they always end up with nothing. I'm being like dead serious. Stop and just think about what I just told you. Anyway, I gotta cut the live stream. It's enough for the philosophical lessons. We'll be live tomorrow at 9, 10 a.m. in the morning from inside Discord, 10 a.m. in the morning from inside TikTok, and on YouTube and on the X. I'm going to set up the pre-market trading plan. The market opens in 55 minutes. It is best that you wait unless you don't know what's going on. They said that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. We could gap up 1% or gap down 1%. Hell, we could open break even and then do a liquidation candle up 1% and then down 1% the next 2 to 3 minutes. Or they could liquidation squeeze it all the way until Asia open or Asia close or Asia open, up or down. It is best to wait. Waiting, I'm gonna leave you with this. Waiting and trading, whenever it comes to trading, waiting is the most valuable skill that you can have. Not taking a position is far more important than taking a position. And it translates to knowing what not to do is far more important than knowing what to do. You listen to what I just told you, please. That's 100% correct. Your community will be massive. That is correct. Thank you, Tsunami. At the end of the day, guys, I believe in you and I love you and I appreciate every single last one of y'all to get liquidity. So that is the manipulation that ICT is taking above in the 3 steps. What do you mean? I think that message is old. Okay, guys. I love you and I believe in you. We'll see you tomorrow for live trading at 9, 10 a.m. in the morning from inside Discord, 10 a.m. in the morning from inside TikTok. Catch you later, alligators. That was about your drawing. Oh. That has nothing to do with ICT. That's a conclusion from what I've seen. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Their their most important job is filling orders because that's all they're trying to do, and they can do that by going sideways. And then what are they doing to go fill orders? Like, I'm being dead serious. Just guys, just look at the most recent example. Look, this high right over here is the orders that need to be filled. This high right over here, right? What did they do what did they do that tipped their hand that they were getting ready to do that? What's this? The first sign that they were getting ready to do that from this weird cluster F of a zone was here. That's a that's just a BISI that was just created in this sideways confusion here. And then they used this BISI to the next minute, they shot it up over here and then popped this high. And then once they popped this high, and then they created this imbalance over here, then they filled it over here on this candle right over here. It was filled right over in this candle. They created an imbalance to fill an order. And then once they filled the order, they pulled the market back. And then they filled the imbalance. And then in the meantime, they used this SIBI to then fuel it to then go lower that they never inversed right over here. This was a SIBI that they used right over here. Right here's a SIBI. They never inversed it. They created a SIBI. Again, they bounced it, flashed up here above it, never closed above it, so they never invalidated it. And then they rejected it, and then they filled that original imbalance that we displaced from to come pop this high. Look. 1, 2, steps 1, 2, and 3 before your very eyes. Look, and I'm not making this up because the market's the market. I can't lie to you on this. That's the beautiful thing about this is it holds a mirror up and it shows you, and it lets you know whether or not that your strategy is true or not. If you press this down button and if you're red all the time, it's telling you, bro, it's telling you something's wrong. You're just not listening. Just listen to what I just told you, please. If you don't listen to anything I just told you today, if you press that button and if you are miraculously red every single time you press that button, you're like, damn, why me? Dude, it's telling you that your strategy is a piece of shit. I'm being dead serious. It's just that you're just not listening. I'm being dead serious. Like I'm literally not, I'm not even joking. Because if you press the button, if you were green all the time, you'd be like, well, goddamn, I'm the greatest ever. You'd be like, bro, I clearly know what I'm talking about. So when you press the button, but you're wrong all the time, you go, well, I do know what I'm talking about, but maybe it's just the market. Fuck no. It's literally telling you that, dude, look at it in the opposite way. Hold a mirror up to your face and ask yourself this question. When people log onto this damn screen and they see me trade live every single day, they go, bro, that dude knows what the fuck he's talking about. That dude's green every single day. He clearly knows what he's talking about, right? If I pressed that button, if I was red every single day, what would they say? They would go, bro, that dude does not know what he's talking about. That dude does not know how to trade. So what makes you any differently? If you press that button, if you're red, you clearly don't know what you're doing. Something is wrong that needs to be corrected. The market's giving you feedback immediately and it's saying, you're wrong somehow, some way, fix it. But us as humans, we like to put our ego in the way and we go, bro, maybe it's not me. Maybe it's somebody else. No, it's you. That's why most people lose, because they can't be real with themselves. I'm going to be real with you. Why? Because I'm not charging you $1,500 per month to be in here. If you read every day, you're a genius. If you read every single day, then you got to be working really hard to be read every single day. Or honestly speaking, you just got to be following what the book's telling you. But that's a story for another day. Because the market is trying to target you, so I get that. The market is literally programmed to target what most people know, because why would they do the opposite? Just do the opposite, but the opposite doesn't answer the question of how you can manage your risk. I tried that strategy too. I promise you, there's robots to where, like, if you were thinking about long it will enter you into a short. But when you do lose, and when it does do the exact opposite of what you were talking about, you won't know how to manage your risk. You'll lose. Trade your stop. But what happens if it targets the stop? You won't know why you lost. That's the thing. Trust me, I tried that strategy. Trust me, I tried I'm going to do the opposite of what I was thinking of what I was getting ready to do. I tried that before. All righty. Does anybody have any questions? We got to go. I believe in you, and I love you, and I know for a fact that you can do this, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow at 10 a.m.